What does it mean to be a small forward in the NBA? Is it about scoring, versatility, leadership? Or is it something deeper, the ability to be whatever your team needs at any moment? For decades, the small forward position has undergone a silent revolution, evolving from traditional wing scorers to multi-dimensional forces of nature. It's the position where some of basketball's most iconic players have lived, where skill meets style and strength meets speed. But how did we get here? How did we go from Larry Bird and Scottie Pippen to Kevin Durant and LeBron James? How did the small forward go from a complementary role to the centerpiece of dynasties? Let's explore the evolution of the small forward, from Jordan's era through the rise of LeBron, and see how the position has redefined what basketball greatness looks like. In the 1970s and early 80s, the small forward wasn't always the star. Players like Rick Barry, John Havlicek, and Bernard King were elite scorers, no. But the position itself didn't carry the same spotlight as the shooting guard or center. Small forwards were often versatile scorers, capable of slashing, shooting from mid-range, and defending bigger guards or smaller bigs. Their role was flexible but often secondary. Think of it as the bridge position, not the primary ball handler, not the dominant post presence, but a little bit of both. It wasn't until players like Julius Erving arrived that the small forward became something special. Dr. J wasn't just scoring 25 a night, he was doing it with flair, charisma, and highlight dunks that helped popularize the NBA. He played the position with grace and explosiveness, redefining what fans expected from a wing. Still, even Dr. J's era was relatively traditional. For all their flash, small forwards were primarily scorers and defenders. They weren't expected to facilitate an offense or play point forward. That shift, that revolution, was still to come. Yes, Michael Jordan was a shooting guard, but his impact changed the standard for every perimeter player, especially small forwards. He was 6'6", muscular, fast, and smart. He attacked like a wing, defended like a forward, and passed like a guard. And while technically SG, his influence trickled upward and outward. The reason Jordan matters in this evolution is because he elevated expectations for all wing players. After him, it wasn't enough to just score 18 points and play defense. You had to lead. You had to carry a franchise. You had to be the guy. Scottie Pippen, Jordan's running mate, embodies this transformation. At 6'8", Pippen wasn't the leading scorer, but he was the Bulls' most versatile player. He ran the fast break, guarded 1 through 4, initiated offense. In many ways, he was a prototype for the modern small forward. Long, skilled, unselfish, and switchable. Jordan's dominance made wings king, and it forced small forwards to evolve or get left behind. By the early 2000s, the small forward position began to split into two types. The explosive scoring machine, like Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, and the do-it-all wing who could handle, pass, and defend, like Paul Pierce or Grant Hill. McGrady, in particular, was ahead of his time. A 6'8" scorer who could play like a guard and drop 40 on any night, but his teams rarely won in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Paul Pierce was less flashy but more foundational. He could score in bunches, hit clutch shots, and defend his position well, all signs of the evolving role. This era also gave us players like Carmelo Anthony, a small forward who scored like a big and bullied smaller defenders in the post. Melo was pure scoring artistry, but he wasn't a facilitator or defender. In hindsight, he represented the end of the traditional small forward, elite scorer, but not necessarily a complete player. The NBA was slowly learning that small forwards couldn't just do one thing anymore. They had to do everything. Then came LeBron. If Scottie Pippen was the prototype, LeBron James was the perfected machine. At 6'9", 250 pounds, with the vision of a point guard and the body of a power forward, LeBron didn't just play small forward. He transformed it. He could guard all 5 positions. He ran offenses as the primary ball handler. He rebounded like a center and passed like Magic Johnson. And he did it all while averaging 27 points a game. LeBron made the point forward not just a gimmick, but a dominant system. From his early years in Cleveland to his championship runs in Miami and LA, LeBron made the small forward the center of everything. Teams had to build around him or figure out how to stop him, which few could do. He made versatility a requirement. No longer could small forwards be one-dimensional. If you couldn't dribble, pass, shoot, and defend at a high level, you were obsolete. LeBron didn't just redefine his position, he redefined team structure. Suddenly, the small forward could be the point guard, the scorer, the anchor, and the leader, and that changed everything. But LeBron's dominance also sparked something else, the arms race of versatility. Teams began searching relentlessly for their own version of LeBron, or at least someone who could guard him. This led to the rise of switchability as a prized asset. Suddenly, wings who could guard multiple positions, initiate offense, and hit open threes became the most valuable chess pieces on the court. The small forward was no longer just a bucket getter or a defensive specialist. He became the fulcrum of both ends. Coaches stopped labeling players strictly by position. Instead, they asked, can he guard LeBron? Can he play with LeBron? And in chasing that archetype, the small forward began to evolve in every direction. You had taller versions with Durant, stronger, more rugged types like Jimmy Butler, silent assassins like Kawhi Leonard. Then there were hybrid forwards like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who technically plays power forward or center, but moves and creates like a wing. It all stems from this positional explosion LeBron ignited. The position became a spectrum, not a box. And now, in the post-LeBron prime era, nearly every title team has a player in that mold. A wing-sized star who can initiate offense, take over late, and defend across the floor. That's the legacy of LeBron. Not just dominance, but transformation. LeBron opened the door, and the new generation sprinted through it. Kevin Durant took the small forward into a new dimension. At 7 feet tall with guard skills, KD was a walking mismatch. He could rise up and shoot over anyone, but also handle the ball and make plays. From Jordan's shadow to LeBron's spotlight, the evolution of the small forward tells us everything about where the NBA has been and where it's going. Because if the past 40 years have taught us anything, it's this: the small forward isn't small anymore. They're giants in skill, in vision, and in legacy.